Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox. It is warm. It was supposed to be raining today. I need the rain. It did not rain. I still need to go get gas. In response to my video on Korea, and that I think we're fixing to go pop them. Or maybe it wasn't a video, maybe it was just a blog. Jay Johns asked, and he asked twice, so it must be important. Words to the effect of, okay, Pastor Joe, so you've topped off, you've stacked it high and deep there, you can see the goat feed right there, which I still got to figure out where that's going to go now, besides my porch. You've stacked up, you've taken care of, last minute things, and I think you said you wake up to find out we've invaded or are fighting or whatever, North Korea. What are you going to do? And then he added to that question, and what will you do if you find out that the Russians and or the Chinese are getting involved? Words to that effect. I think that's fair. I think that my first answer may bore y'all, though. And my first answer is based on the fact that I do pretty much everything I can do every day to be prepared. Meaning, we have gone well beyond years past now. Buying stuff for the bug out bag or buying this little Guga or that little Guga, and we are firmly in the homesteading phase, right? And so I work at this homestead every day to make it better, to make it more productive, more self-sustaining, that kind of thing. And matter of fact, can you see this? I know it's kind of dark. Can you see those? Those are sumac, staghorn sumac berries that I picked today. They taste kind of like lemonade. You pick them, you put them in cold water, shake it up and drink it. Thing is, they have a good amount of vitamin C in them. Man, Three Hornets is just going crazy out here. Wow. They have a lot of vitamin C in them, so now I'm not worried about vitamin C in the winter. I have vitamin C tablets if I need to take them, and we get all the fresh veggies at our grocery store, and fruits and blah blah. But you get into a self-sustaining mode, vitamin C in the winter can be a thing, right? And so I picked those seeds today not because I need them for this winter, but because one, they were growing up in my blackberry patch yonder, just right up in the middle of it, and I don't want them there. So this winter I'm going to cut them all down. And so I cut these seed heads off, one to have if we need them, and I'll probably make something out of some of them. But I'm going to plant this staghorn sumac in places on the land where it'll be a good fit. I haven't decided where that is yet, but we're going to plant them in. So I have a crop of naturally growing vitamin C. Rose hips are another good source of vitamin C. You just got to beat the deer to them. So there's that. I hear that we're mixing it up. When I hear that we're mixing it up with North Korea, I will be paying much more attention to the news. I'll probably be getting less done because I don't have a news radio I can walk around with, so I'll be checking the news frequently. But as far as what we have to do here, nothing. Really, nothing. I'll make sure we're topped off again. If I use some gas for the generator or the lawnmower or something, I'll probably go fill it up. We kind of, praise the Father, we're kind of where we need to be. Now, I will contact my tribe as soon as I find out and let them all know what's going on, because some of them, despite the fact that they have me as their leader, they don't all listen to me on the little details of preparedness. And so that will spur in some of them some panic. Um, but I'll let them all know. And then I'll put my kids, family, on a shorter, tighter leash. We will know where each other is at all times. Because, why am I looking at the news? I'm watching the news to see if this thing gets ugly. I don't think Kim can hit me with a nuclear missile. Not worried about that. Not worried about terrorists. Not worried about any of that stuff out here. But I am worried about the Chinese and the Russians. Now, right now, it looks like the Chinese and Russians are kind of on our side. You know, I know they mobilized and did their parades and all that stuff, but here's what I think is going on. The last thing in the world China wants is for a U.S. puppet to be on the North Korea-China border. They're not going to let that happen, right? No way in Hades. And they don't want North Koreans streaming into China and messing things up. You know, they've got no political correctness problems like we do. They don't mind saying, we're not taking any of those dang refugees. I don't care if they are commies. They don't want them coming in. And so they've got their military on the border right now energized, much like Canada. Oh, Canada! They've put their military on the border to keep our refugees tightly in the U.S., right? They don't want our problems. But the other reason they're building up their military there is because, in my opinion, when we launch on North Korea, if it looks anything like we're going to do a ground invasion, and I don't think we are, but if it looks like we're going to do some kind of ground invasion, I think China is immediately going to attack south through North Korea and seize a good chunk of North Korea for themselves. And there's room for misunderstanding there, right? They're coming south, we're going north, and hopefully we both know where the line is. So there's that. I think Russia has enough problems right now. No plan survives first contact with the enemy. We have a plan to fight North Korea. But the North Koreans have a vote, right, in how that plan unfolds. And this thing could just turn into some blood-sucking, just massive Americans dying if it goes to a ground invasion or a ground repulsion of a North Korean invasion. You know, we kick a hole in the ant nest and those ants come boiling out of there and headed south. We're going to have to fight, right? Now, the South Koreans are good, and they could probably contain much of it, but we're going to fight. And, you know, Kim's got chemical weapons. No one's talking about them. He's got more artillery than you can shake a stick at. It's just going to be ugly if it happens. Hey, wiser heads could prevail, because here's the reality of an attack by us on North Korea, which I think we're going to do unless something changes, unless Kim says, okay, I give. I think we're going to attack them. Lots of people could die, civilians and military. And both sides have to be asking themselves, man, is this worth it? I think the U.S. has made the answer, yeah. It's worth it to have people that we know are going to die, soldiers in this case, and people, quite frankly, who ain't ours, South Koreans. Yeah, Pastor Joe, but what about all the Americans that are there? Yeah, that's collateral damage. It's not L.A., San Francisco, Phoenix, Seattle, Portland, right? I think we're willing to engage in that fight there because we think we know we're going to win. So I think we're willing to do it. Is Kim willing to do it? Kim still has a chance to back off and save his head. Because you make us come for you anymore, and, you know, Saddam, the last 5 leaders of ISIS, Osama, I won't go there, Noriega, Gaddafi, man, we kill those guys, or ensure they are killed, right? He's got to know that's coming. So, He could back up. If he backed up and said, you know what, guys, I've rethought it. You're right. We're not going to pursue our nukes. We would have no reason to attack them. So there you go. Is that going to happen? I don't think so. If we get engaged in a ground conflict, I'm back on Russia and China, and we start taking massive casualties, and, you know, we lose an aircraft carrier or two, China and Russia can always... Who's China's number one enemy? The U.S. Who's Russia's number one enemy? The U.S. They know that. Right now, they don't believe they can take us. They see us entangled over here with something. Hey, who knows? Who's to say? You know, too many people... I almost did a separate video on this. Too many Christians poo-poo things like that, like the U.S. getting nuked by Russia and or China. As, oh, you know, the end is not yet. No man knows the time or the hour. I put my trust in Jesus, you know, blah, blah, blah. Understand this. I've said it before in other videos, but we have a lot of new people. The U.S. could be totally, completely destroyed and annihilated. And that still doesn't mean Jesus is coming back anytime soon. See, we're arrogant as American Christians. We think that nothing terrible can happen to the United States without that being tribulation. Therefore, we're going to get raptured out of here. I'm telling you, tribulation could start with the destruction and removal of the United States as a player. I don't think we're all that. And I'm reading this book, Forging the Hero. I told you this before in another video. There's 5 things that are kind of like 5 signs that a civilization, an empire, is collapsing. One of those is building walls, right? Another one is using mercenary troops. And I think the guy in the book, I haven't read it for about 4 or 5 days. I need to go back and start reading it again. John Mosby, I think, I don't want to put words in his mouth here, but I think he kind of alluded to the fact that we're using all these contractors more than ever before in Iraq and Afghanistan. And that is like, they're mercenaries. I mean, they are, right? We're paying somebody else to do our fighting for us in those cases. And I think he was making the point that, yeah, look what we're doing now. Did you hear that one of the things being seriously considered is turning the entire Afghan campaign over to contractors? Let a contractor run the whole thing? Whoo! Yeah, because we can't be bothered with it, right? It's a sign of the fall. I think we could fall. Now, when I say that the United States could be utterly and totally destroyed, a lot of people, again, who just don't want to think the hard thoughts, they say something like, well, then there's nothing to do, so I might as well not do it, because we're going to be totally destroyed. Totally destroyed as a country, as a nation state, does not mean that I'm totally destroyed. I could still be living here in a yard that looks like that. Could. You can totally destroy the nation without touching the Ozarks. Ain't that much going on here except Walmart. So, I prepare. I get ready. I try to improve my life every day. I try to do something to make me less dependent on the system and to improve our quality of life. And again, this channel is mostly on the physical level, a little bit on the mental, a little bit on the emotional, and a little bit on the spiritual. But I work on all those levels. You should too. I will be watching the news, and if I hear that China and Russia are threatening us, I'm gonna wish I had built my fallout shelter already. How about that? I've been thinking about where to put it and how to build it and those kinds of things. And if I do, I probably will not film it. But I've been thinking about that, and I'm getting close to the point of calling some people and saying, hey, how much would it cost me for you to do this? But I'm thinking about building a real fallout shelter. feet and feet and feet of dirt on top of concrete. So if I found out tomorrow that Russia and China were getting mad at us, I'd be regretting that I hadn't done that, and I'd probably be moving in that direction, like full stop everything else. How do I get a dude with a track hoe out here? I need to line up some concrete guys, that kind of thing. That's probably what I will do if I hear that, if I haven't done it already. Because I believe that the U.S. is going to get nuked. I did a sermon on it, something about Babylon, years ago. No, I can't find the link to it. I've tried. I don't remember what I titled it, so I can't find it. But that whole part, for those of you who are into the Bible, and y'all should be, where it says, alas, Babylon, Babylon the great is fallen, and 1 hour is her destruction come, and the merchants of the world stand afar off and are weeping and wailing and gnashing of teething. I think that's us. New York, D.C., East Coast, destroyed by nuclear fire, followed very quickly by a tsunami that puts it out. Oh yeah, I think that's coming. Yep. So, I know, right? I'm just full of joy. I am full of joy, though. My garden is looking good. I'm kind of excited about where the fall garden's going to go. And hopefully none of this will happen. And I will bounce my great-grandbabies on my knee one of these days. But that's what I would do, Jay Johns. When war starts with North Korea, I'll just be monitoring the news more closely. I won't be doing anything. When China and Russia get engaged, I'm thinking we might get nuked soon, and I'll be taking steps in that direction. But again, other than building a fallout shelter, which it really is, come on, it's too late to start building one once they start rattling sabers, right? Maybe. But I'll try. And of course we have contingency plans and blah, blah, blah. So that's me. But hey, I live this preparedness lifestyle not because I want to think about gloom and doom, but because it pleases me right now to sit on my porch, look at my garden, contemplate the mulch I bought, look over there at my chicken coop with the big old sunflowers. Can you guys see that out there? Dropping sunflower seeds all around, so I'll have more sunflowers. Life is good. You know, I eat good, wholesome food. I live a healthy lifestyle. I drank goat milk last night. So, what's important in your life? Start ordering your affairs. Get yourself lined up. Your family, your people, get everything lined up the way you want it to be, because I think when these things go, they have a habit of going quickly. And I don't think I'm going to wake up to find out we invaded North Korea, because I think we're going to do it at night, and nighttime there is daytime here. So I think we'll find out about it, you know, mid-morning, like I said. All right, hey, I wish you all the best. Don't be paranoid. Just do the best you can with what you got, where you're at. Take some steps every day to increase your preparedness posture. And remember, it's not just stuff. It's not just buying stuff. It's not just building stuff. It's mental, too. It's taking care of the time to connect with your neighbors and your family and get those ties that bind tighter and ready to go when things kick off. Do something every day and live your life. Hug those that you're close to. All right. I'll see you out there.